Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I just want to thank all my old subscribers and welcome my new subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. So it's been 2 months and about 4 days or so since I fully planted my garden, and I wanted to give you just a little update of what's been going on. Now bear in mind, it has been extremely busy for the family the last 3 weeks or so. So basically it's been kind of neglected, but this is what it looks like. So as you will see as I walk through, some things have taken off and other things have died off. So these are the onions, not really doing anything but dying. This is the basil that was in the middle of that other plant. I just moved it into its own pot and it is flourishing. My sage, thyme, parsley, and oregano is doing absolutely nothing. And then here are a couple of little celery that's doing good, and that lemon thyme is doing pretty good since I put it in a bigger pot and trimmed off the dead that was on there. The borage I've harvested about 3 times, and now I'm just looking to get some flowers, which I haven't picked, which I need to get on. My lavender died and it's still dead. My chives keep coming back no matter how low I chop them. And then this celery here, this lettuce here is for our sandwiches in the morning, and I just come on and pick these here, and it just keeps coming back every single couple of like a week or so. It will grow back. And over here in the driveway garden, the flowers are doing pretty good. They bring in the good beneficial insects. The garlic and onion I planted here, just like the other onion, it's dying off. I don't know what's going on with my onions this year. I have no idea. And this dill it's all over the place, and I didn't plant any dill this year because I have quite a bit dried, and it just keeps coming back all over the place. Radishes I harvested. There's some there going to seed. Carrots need to be harvested. So much needs to be harvested. Here's some celery coming up. There's a couple of little ones in here. I planted quite a bit, but only a few came up. There's one in the back there. Tomatoes that I didn't plant there, but that's where they're growing. And then this is a good patch of tomatoes that I planted in this area. And as you can see, the actual plants are pretty loaded down. Nothing is really ripe in this area yet, but our weather has been erratic, spasmodic, whatever you want to call it. High 90s, 100, 110, 150 degrees by day, and then overnight we're down in the high 50s, low 60s. It's just crazy, and I think it's affecting the plants, but hopefully they'll ripen up fairly soon. There's some really big tomatoes in this area, and hopefully I can get to them before anything else gets to them and eats them. So yeah. Then these are our peppers. I don't really know the varieties. Some are sweet in this area, have most of the hot in the other ones, and most of these over here are a sweet variety or banana pepper or something like that. There, I believe, are no really hot ones over here, but I could be wrong because literally at the end I was just planting things where I had space, and that's how it went with the peppers. So pretty much got a good bit on these as well. There's more flowers. I can see little buds coming in, so we should have a good harvest of peppers and a good harvest of tomatoes, which is what I was focused on this year. This is the okra, which is really not doing anything. And else for these cucumbers, we've had a few that have gone past their best, and I had to put them in compost bin, but some of them we were able to salvage. Like this one is ready to be picked. There's a couple in here that's ready to be picked, and I have to get on that because we just keep them in the fridge and we like to stack on them, put them in sandwiches or salads and that sort of thing. But yeah, like I said, we've been so busy, it's crazy. This is the mint. I have cut this mint down to the nibs, as I call it, and it's come back every single time, and it's come back again. This is more dill that I did not plant here, but it's growing here. and also some borage, which was planted here and it's come back because I did replant it this year, and I'm just harvesting the flowers on this. But that dill is all over the place, and I didn't plant any this year. And I don't know what's going on with my elderberry plants, but they're starting to go yellow, and I'm hoping they bounce back. They haven't as yet, but we shall see. I hope they don't die off. They flowered, but I got no actual berries themselves. So over to the area where we keep most of the herbs. I don't even know what to say about this area. It's terrible. That's dead. My elephant garlic is doing nothing. On the top here was chamomile, and as you can see, nothing's coming up. And then around the sides, there's different herbs. The dill, of course, is growing, and I don't need any more dill. I don't. But yeah, I threw it in there because I had a space, and this basil is beautiful. I can't wait to start making some pasta with it. This area in the middle is where that bigger plant came from. It was really big, and I think it was too big for this pot. It was stifling it. That's what I don't really like about these pots. They're not deep enough, I don't think. These are the ones I got from the Dollar Tree, and there's other herbs in there, and they're not doing very well either. Strawberry this year, we got a handful, but I think I don't know, there's a few there that might come in, but the birds and the squirrels are beating us to most of them. And the blueberries, this tree is doing absolutely nothing this year. We got about a pint last year off of this tree and nothing. And the one I bought this year isn't fruiting either. This is where most of the green strawberries that I've seen. Some are pretty big, so hopefully we'll get a few out of here. I was hoping to get enough for jam, but I don't think we're going to get enough to make a batch of jam this year. Last year we ate most of them before they even got in the house, but this year I was hoping to get jam. Then my raspberry bush, this is coming pretty good. I've got about a half a pint size sandwich bag in the freezer that I want to make jam out of, so hopefully I get enough to make jam. This one isn't doing too much. The first one's doing the best in the raspberries. Now these are blackberries. This one isn't doing anything, but this and one, it is pretty well loaded, and as you can see, they're starting to ripen up, and I'm hoping that I can get to them once they're ripe before any and everything else does. And this thing has grown so tall, it's almost like a vine. It keeps going up and up and up and up and up. It's crazy. So that is the long, it just grew since I've gotten these from I think I got that one from Home Depot. I got a couple at Home Depot and a couple at Walmart. So this is the main garden area and the pots on the side. This is crazy. I can't even. It has grown up so much since the last time I looked at it. It's crazy. So in the back here, we have our watermelons, and there are some watermelons, as you can see, coming in. There are some really tiny ones. There are some cantaloupe and butternut squash. There's a couple of zucchinis. There is spaghetti squash. There's cantaloupe. There is honeydew melon. A couple of different kinds of the honeydew melon, and it is all on this area trellis thing we put together, and it's all intermingled, and it seems to be working for now. As you can see, there are so many little melons coming on. These are honeydew melons again. So hopefully they ripen to maturity before anything else other than us get to it. We do have a little rabbit in the area that our dog likes to play with instead of it chasing it off. So these are ones that these are butternut squash that came out of my worm bin, and they were so tiny and heat stressed when I put them in here, but they have really bounced back and now they're flourishing. So hopefully we get some butternut squash off of these 3 plants. The back ones are not doing so well because they're not getting that much sunlight, but we keep our fingers crossed and hopefully we'll get some more. Those are some more melons, some more butternut squash, some more spaghetti squash, and I can't even imagine how many squash. We got quite a few last year, and I just used the last one probably about a month ago from last year's harvest. So hopefully we'll get that many that we can winter them in our cold storage. More butternut squash. It's just so many in here. I can't even imagine when it gets to full maturity and I have to can or preserve all this stuff. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it. Just putting it down in my cool room and it will last for quite a few months. Over here is potatoes that have laid down in the last week or so and need to be harvested. There's my purple spinach, which needs to be harvested. Everything needs to be harvested. Swiss chard, everything but the onions, as you can see, aren't doing anything. I did harvest the top and make onion pesto out of it, but after that, the top's grew again, but the bulb is not growing. It's more like shriveling up. It's going in the reverse direction. Here is the lettuce we harvested. I come out here and I pick, and we'll make salads for dinner, for lunches, whatever. And then I have a couple of more seeds that I planted at a later date, and they're coming in now. So we have lettuce throughout the whole season. And then back here are more peppers, more and more peppers. This is where our hot peppers are, like our jalapenos and habaneros and all that kind of stuff are in this bed over here. And that black stuff you see is this wheelbarrow of soil that got wet, and I just tried to throw the water into the plants so it wouldn't attract mosquitoes, because as hot as it is out here, it will attract mosquitoes, that water sitting there. So that's the black you see around all the plants, if you're wondering. I try to throw it around the plants so it can, water the plants. Why not? Cabbage, that rabbit that's been in the yard for ever since last 3 months, was eating away at this cabbage. He didn't want the lettuce, he just wanted the cabbage. So that's why they're so small. More peppers, more hot peppers. I've harvested a few of these. I'll insert a picture at the end to show you what I've harvested. Some of the things I've harvested out of the beds so far. This is the main area for tomatoes. We've got yellow cherry tomatoes, blood red tomatoes. I'm not exactly sure of the varieties, but we've got beefsteaks. We've got so many different varieties in here. I'm not worried about cross-pollination or whatever, because I have so many tomato seeds that I don't need to seed save for this year. And I'm pretty okay with that. This is our main potato bed. Again, they're laying down. They've been laid down for a while because, number one, it's so hot, way we water, and yeah, that's just the way it is. They got so tall they started to lay over. So we wait a little longer to harvest our potatoes. More tomatoes on this side. These were actually came from the other bed, and I put them in, and again, in the heat of the day, I don't know why I always do this. Yeah, but they've bounced back and they're producing now. If you can see in the walkways here, people helping me spread seeds. Little hands helping me spread seeds. They spreaded them everywhere. So I've got spinach and kale and everything else growing in the walkway. So I'm going to leave it and let them grow. Over here, more cabbages. They're coming back. These are the ones the rabbits ate. They're coming back. If you can see the little ones in there. This is the ones that originally were eaten by the rabbit that's in the yard. And he decided that he wanted to go on the other side and start eating. And then I have the peppers here. And also some more peppers in the back area here that I missed. And I've harvested off these plants quite a bit already. So hopefully we will get some more off of these plants, because these plants are a lot bigger. And as you can see, there are a few more there, but not very many, because I've already harvested off of those particular plants. But here I have a tomatillo, which I didn't plant here, but it grew, so I left it. Back there I have collard greens and Swiss chard and my poor onions once again. So basically I have no idea what to do with my onions. Somebody made a comment on a different video one time that they weren't worried about the store shelves and how they were empty and such, because they're growing a garden. With the weather and everything else and fertilizer and everything else going on, you are not guaranteed to grow a good crop. I've been growing in this garden for 8 years now and done pretty well. Except for this year, some of the things just didn't come up. Between seeds and everything else, they just didn't come up. So this is my worm bin. This is what I do. I'm so lazy with this bin, it's unbelievable. I just throw everything on the top. Sometimes I rip up the coffee filters. That's coffee filters you see there. That's coffee, that's scraps from the kitchen, whatever it may be. I throw it in here, and like you see, this is a bowl, and I fill it up by my sink, and I throw it in here once or twice a day, whenever I get a chance to throw it out here. I'm not really particular with any kind of food scraps. I throw it all in there. I'm not separating. I'm just throwing it all in there. And the real thing I'm after is this liquid. That is what I put on the garden for fertilizer. This liquid is like liquid gold. I dilute it with some water, probably about 3 to 1. So 3 parts water, 1 part this worm. I call it worm liquid gold. It's not really gold. It's black. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, and basically I put it on my plants. So that will go on top, and this is what I use. So this is a little snippet of what I got out of the garden. And this is what you want to try and avoid in your garden. These are worms. This is what that white moth lays, and it turns into those worms. Here is some more. These were all on the dill. Not that I really need them. This is a little one of that particular worm. So you want to try and avoid those kind of pests. And they like the tomatoes especially. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos.